Alright, Gotham, episode 5. And already, right off the bat, it gives me a lot to take in. And I don't know if I can believe it without feeling like I'm just, taking in anything they give me and just accepting it. What I mean was, it starts off with Bruce Wayne, already seemingly a good detective and actually knowing how to run a business and how all its workings go. And I want to think that Thomas Wayne, his father, taught him a lot about running the business because it would one day become his. But I don't know. It just seems like they're really rushing the whole Bruce Wayne's going to become a badass. He's going to become Batman. It's like, we already know that. And in fact, we want to kind of not know the journey just yet. In fact, we believe the journey was just traveling the world. But yeah, when you think about it, where did he learn how to run a business? He would have to have been taught by his father. So on that aspect, I can already see that. But the whole detective work and already knowing what to say to, she wasn't a board member but to like another middle management kind of woman, just seems kind of off. When he's sitting there in the suit and on the chair talking about business irregularities, it's just like, I want to feel like this is supposed to be taken seriously, but I can't help but feel or think, oh, how adorable, he's playing CEO. But either way, that wasn't the main focus. The main focus was the new drug called Viper, which has eventually become Venom, same thing that Bane uses. And immediately you see the effects, super strength, but at the same time, in order to get the super strength, it deteriorates your calcium, and of course that means your bones crumble under its own weight. So you can imagine the deaths here are terrifying to watch, especially when you see that their jaws or whatever connects their jaws to the rest of their skull is just gone, and it's just like, oh damn, that is a horrible way to go. And I kind of like how Gordon says, believe me, for a few hours you'll be the king of the world. You have super strength, you'll be able to steal anything, be impervious to damage. People are going to take it. That's how desperate they are for 15 minutes of fame. And it's kind of sad, but it's true. Kind of a bit of a commentary on, people. If you're given the chance for power, more often than not, you're going to take it despite the consequences. But I will say it was funny to see the old man beating Bullock around. Just kind of just like, wow, old man could move. And yeah, it was funny to see it the whole way through. And once again, what steals the show is the crime aspect of this show. Not the actual villains with their chemical weaponry or their unique ways of killing people. No, I mean Oswald and Fish and Falcone and Maroni. When their scenes are up, it's just like, wow, I'm truly invested in what's going on over here. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I just noticed this, but many people believe that Gotham is supposed to be about Jim Gordon and his adventures in Gotham, learning how it works and trying to integrate it himself into its system. But really, funnily enough, it's about Gotham and its crime and how it's constantly changing and how different gears work. And I can't believe I didn't really notice that until now. I believed that the whole Oswald working with Maroni and Falcone and Fish were just kind of side stories, while Jim Gordon's going after all these criminals is the main story. But I'm starting to believe that it's not. And maybe the writers themselves don't notice this. I don't know. But either way, with Gil Gordon, we get a hint that Wayne Industries is up to something, sinister, and maybe they might have something to do with getting rid of Thomas Wayne or the Waynes, because they were honest people who wanted to run an honest business, and they didn't want that. They wanted money, of course. So the board of directors might have had something to do with their deaths. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, Falcone and Maroni are still at war, And I'm kind of interested in where this is going, because the parallels between Oswald and Fish are just amazing. Fish is trying to take over Falcone's businesses by kind of, working within his own, his own business. It's like she's working her way up. She's playing the cards right. She's taking advantage of any opportunity she can get her hands on, and she's winning over the loyalty from other families that work with Falcone by pretty much having sex with their heads. So that was kind of weird. And then also playing Falcone and his weaknesses by from the girl from last week. We find out that she was going to be used as a secret weapon, but as to how, we finally get the idea here. She looks a lot like Falcone's mom, and with the blonde hair and the fact that she loves classical music, which was taught to her by Fish, and also how to interact with men, especially the eyes, the smiles, stuff like that. And you almost feel bad for Falcone, because he seems to be, despite the fact that he's a Don, seems to be a nice guy. And almost makes me wonder that maybe the Waynes knew about Falcone. They worked with him, because no matter how nice of a person you are, you have to admit that crime can never actually truly disappear from any city. So how do you, at least diminish it? By controlling it. And who controls the crime currently? Falcone. So you talk with him, have a sort of business deal with him. You keep most of your criminals in line. You help people from the underground, where I will help people from the front. We're the public figures. We're constantly doing charity work and all that stuff, and making inventions that benefit humanity, that kind of thing. I don't know, maybe it's not true, but it'll be an interesting little tidbit. The Waynes work with Falcone to keep balance within Gotham. And now all these new criminals who just want money and power are willing to upset that balance, because money and power, and they don't care about the consequences, and that's ultimately what's going to destroy everything. Now, whether Oswald is really actually after money or power is questionable. Maybe he just wants respect and recognition because he's worked under people's shoes his entire life. But it's good to see that he's actually kind of in the same position as Fish. And in fact, he's moving up a lot faster than Fish. He's not only just running like his own restaurant and club, kind of like Fish is, but he's already getting involved with Marone, and he's doing favors for him and helping him along and building his empire. While Fish is being kept at a distance to a certain extent from Falcone, because he can't really 100% trust her. But it just shows that while Fish is able to play on men and women's more emotional side, Oswald is able to play on their logical side. You're like, hey, I have all these assets that you can put to your advantage. I have connections within Falcone's empire. It's like, I have all this knowledge about their inner workings. Use me. While Fish is just pretty much saying, you do this for me, I kiss you, or I have sex with you. That's it. So really it's all a matter of who wants it more. And here in this episode, you see that Oswald was actually risking his own life, not just telling the truth, but putting a lot of faith in the fact that Gordon will tell Marone the true story, same way he did. So really, he's risking a lot. He's taking huge leaps of faith, and it's all working out for him. And it shows that he really wants this a lot more than Fish does. Now, a lot of people will probably think that was stupid of him. Like, why would he just outright say, hey, let me tell you the truth? Like, no, keep it a secret and keep playing the games. Like, no, telling the truth is a way of playing the game. Because there are always things that you're keeping from others, especially your end goals. If telling someone about your past is not really losing a game. It's just using another chip in your arsenal. And that's what Oswald's doing. But either way, again, the whole war between these crime organizations, the crime families, Marone, Falcone, and then Fish and trying to topple Falcone and possibly Oswald trying to topple Marone. It makes me feel like it's going to end with a kind of a gang war between Oswald and Fish, and whoever survives is going to end up, replacing everyone as the Don. Now I'm imagining Don Cobblepot. It's kind of funny when you think about it, if that's going to happen. Probably not, because I don't ever think he was a Don in any of the iterations of Batman. He was just a rich person with a lot of manpower. But who knows? They may make a few changes here in this series to make Oswald more sympathetic and actually more likable as a villain. But either way, great episode. Once again, I believe the crime aspect, organized crime aspect anyway, took the center stage. But again, maybe that's the point. Maybe they're the main focus and Gordon is the side stories. Who knows? But either way, love this episode. Can't wait for the next one. Till then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye-bye.